Welcome back, Hive Mind. This is Shalazar with Hive Mind Gaming, coming at you with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Looks like we've got a times 10 event coming up this weekend that is heavily leaning toward the clan boss champions. So let's get into it. So first off, we have, from the Barbarian tribe, we have Altan. Probably one of the hardest hitting champions in the game. He's got great base stats. His attacks are based on defense. His A1 is attacks one enemy, has a 60% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. So decreased attack on his A1, great for clan boss. And, well, any other place in the game, to be perfectly honest. He attacks one. His A2 is attacks one enemy, places a 60% increased defense buff for 2 turns on all allies, places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns equal to 20% of the max HP of this attack if this attack kills an enemy. So it's gonna hit hard. If it kills someone, it's gonna place a shield on your friends based on your friends' max HP. So all around a tremendous ability, and then books out to 3 turns, and that would be worth books right there. Now as A1, you can book out his decreased attack up to 75%, which is not a bad idea either. So his books are definitely going to be worth it. And then on top of that, he's got a passive that revives a random ally with 30% HP every time this champion kills an enemy. It resets the cooldowns of this champion's skills if this champion kills an enemy and all allies are alive. So if he's got a dead friend, it will resurrect them, and if he doesn't have any dead friends, it resets the cooldown of his A2, which allows him to hit hard yet again. All around, a tremendous champion. Alright, and then he increases ally defense in all battles by 33%. So this guy's going to help you in clan boss. He's going to help you in faction wars. He's going to help you in dungeons. He's going to help you in... I think the only thing he's not... I mean, he would be good in campaign. I just don't believe that's going to be his best place to go. But all around, fantastic champion. All right, so let's move on to the next one, which is Lugen of the Bannerlords. So Lugen of the Bannerlords, another solid champ that can help you if you don't have a tank, or if you need someone for your ally protect. He's going to be the guy for you. Again, he's got some solid numbers. His A1 is attacks one enemy, heals all allies by 25% of the damage inflicted, places a shield buff on this champion equal to 10% of their max HP for 2 turns. So on his A1, he's going to heal your allies. He's going to place a shield, and then his damage is based on HP. And look at his base HP over 22k. I mean, just solid A1. And then his A2 places a 60% increased defense buff on this champion for 3 turns. And then he also places a 50% ally protect on all allies for 2 turns. And that books down to 4 turn. I think that would be better if it booked down to a 3 turn, but still solid. I mean, he gets the increased defense to 3 turns. And the fact that there's only 1 book here, I mean, if there was 2 books here and it started at 5 and booked down to 3 turns, that would be I mean, he would just be solid at that point. I mean, well, he's solid now, but you would see him everywhere, I think. All right, so his A3 is attacks all enemies, has an 80% chance of placing a block cooldown skill debuff for 2 turns, that's a fantastic ability, because if you can lock out your opponent's skills, that means they're only hitting you with their A1s, which pretty much locks out most people's compositions, like in arena. Now, it's not going to help you much in clan boss, and by much I mean it's not going to help you at all in clan boss. But if you're going to use him for clan boss, then you're going to want him with uh, zero accuracy, because at that point you don't want him to land that debuff, because that's going to take up spots for your poison. So you're not going to want him to land that. So you're just going to want him to have high HP, high defense, and high speed, and that's pretty much all you're going to want him to have. All right, and then his aura is increases ally hit points and faction crypts by 38%. So he's going to help you in clan boss. He's going to help you in arena. He's going to help you in dungeons. He's not going to help you much in campaign. And then he's going to help you in faction crypts. So all around, a solid champ. I mean, he's good as is, but with a few books, he can be even more handy. If you can just get his books to land here, you put one book into him and it lands there. I don't think you really need to put any more books into him. Now, if you're going to use him in arena, you might want more books into here to make that 100% chance to block cooldowns, and then you'll of course want to stack him with accuracy. But yeah, he doesn't need any books in his A1 unless you're, in game trying to get his damage up. But other than that, yeah, I mean he's absolutely a solid champ. All right, let's look at our third and final non-void legendary. All right, so for our final non-void legendary, we've got Ignatius. Now, another solid champ. So solid base stats, and then we've got attack. His A1 is attacks one enemy, has a 15% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. Damage is based on defense. So, I mean, first off, that's going to hit hard. Second, it's only a 15% chance, and it actually books up to 25%, so it's not going to land a lot. So you can't really count on that. But still, really good ability on A1. It just needs to hit harder, or this needs to be a multiple hit. All right, then we have his A2, which is attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn. So this is good, and now it books up to 75%, and which is not bad. It'd be better if it was 100%, and then after that it was just based on accuracy. But 75% chance hits all enemies, and the damage is based on defense. That's pretty solid. But now here's the one that really helps. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing an HP burn, and that books up to 100% chance and drops the cooldown by 1, so it drops the cooldown to 5. Wish there was another cooldown here, drop it down to 4. But does it for two turns, and then the debuff cannot be resisted. So you don't even need accuracy for this one. So all you need to do is hit that 75%. So if you book it up to 100%, then he will automatically place that HP burn. There's no way to stop it as long as you've got him booked up, which is fantastic. So if you got that booked up, and you're not worried about landing that or that, you don't even have to put accuracy on this guy. So if you're using him strictly for clan boss, you don't need accuracy on him, because stun won't work on the clan boss, provoke won't work on the clan boss. So you only want the HP burn to land, so you don't have to put any accuracy on him at all. And for his aura, he's got a ally defense in all battles by 25%. All right, so what's this guy going to be used for? He's going to be used in clan boss, for sure. Can he be used in dungeons? Absolutely, and he can be a solid champ for your dungeon runs. You'll want to probably work on his accuracy if you're going to do that, because he's going to be good for waves. If you just want him to be good for dealing with the boss, then and you got someone else to help with the waves, his damage alone, his AoE damage alone is going to be great against the waves. So if you got other ways of CCing the waves, then I still wouldn't worry about his accuracy. Spider, he's going to be fantastic with that. Can't resist his AoE HP burn. So he's going to be fantastic in Spider. Arena, he's going to shine. He's going to be fantastic. Now, in Arena, I would argue that you might want to do the accuracy so that you can knock out your opponent's skills with his A2. So campaign, I think he might be fairly good in campaign because he's got AoEs. So he might be really good to take out waves in campaign. But again, I think you might want to take a look at. Well, actually, to be honest, in campaign, he should be able to just. I mean, with a high crit rate, high crit damage. I mean, he's gonna take out waves in one shot. You're gonna one shot the waves in 12-3. So well, and then of course in faction wars, any legendary is gonna help you in faction wars. So yeah, all around fantastic champ. All right, and then we've got one Void champion, legendary champion, and that's going to be Solus of the Knights Revenant. All right, so Solus is one of my favorite looking champs. I love his aesthetic. And, you gotta love champions that represent the fat guy community. So you gotta love his look. Plus, I love the anytime that champions have like an actual moving aesthetic to them, like the magical aura on his axe and his shield, and then the burning eyes, just looks cool. And I love the breastplate too, kind of neat. All right, so again, pretty good stats except for his speed. His speed is trash. I think we would see him more often if he had a higher speed. And actually, I'd say if he had a higher speed, you'd probably see him everywhere. Because he's a solid champ. His kit is really good. He just needs a higher speed. Let's get into his kit. His A1 is attacks one enemy, has a 35% chance of placing a stun debuff for one turn based on defense, and it can be booked up to a 50% chance. So a lot better than Ignatius, because it's a 50% chance, 50-50 chance to place a stun is, I mean, that's pretty solid. I mean, that's a pretty solid ability on an A1. All right, and then his A3 is attacks 3 times at random. Each hit has a 75% chance to remove a buff, places a provoke debuff for one turn if a buff is removed. Okay, so this ability, I'm kind of torn. I love the aesthetics of the ability. I love how it works, except for the randomness. I guess you would have to do the randomness. The only other way is to do attacks all enemies. So unless it works, I haven't played with him yet. I don't have him on my main account. So I don't know if it works kind of like Kale's poison ability, where you pick the first target and then it hits the other or the other 3 at random. And now, if it worked like that, then that would be great, because then you can snipe the guy that you really want and then also hit other people as well. If it worked like that, then I would be down for it. but I don't know how exactly how it works. Put in the comment if you do know how it works, if it works that way like Kells, where you can target the first guy and the others are at random, or if it's just everybody's at random. So place in the comments, let me know, because I'm curious about that myself. And then, but the way that the rest of it works, where it's 75% chance, books up to 100%, uh, to remove a buff. Also, someone also mentioned that it removes all the buffs. So also put that in the comments if you own this guy, and does it remove all the buffs or does it just remove a single buff? And then if it removes a buff, then it places a provoke, which is awesome. I mean, this is just a great ability, and it also has great modifiers. So he hits pretty hard with this ability, and then he has a chance to put a provoke on him and remove their buffs, or remove their buffs and then put a provoke on them. So, I mean, just solid ability. All right, and then his A3 is attacks all enemies, increases the duration of all debuffs on each target by 1 turn, then places a provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn, then places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns equal to 30% of damage inflicted. Now, damage increases by 10% for each debuff on the target. And this is what makes him great for clan boss. So he's not going to provoke the clan boss. Alright, so where he's going to be great is in clan boss. And how that's going to work is, one, you can't place a stun on the clan boss, and you can't place a provoke. So this ability is going to help you when he's in his situation where he changes affinity and he starts placing buffs on himself. One, this is going to help because it's going to help take off those buffs. So you're going to have 75%, which books up to 100% chance to remove those buffs from the clan boss, and it will hit the clan boss 3 times. And then on this one, it's going to help because it's going to extend the duration of all the debuffs, and he can't place the provoke. So that's not gonna be a situation where it takes up the space of one of your debuffs because he can't place it on the clan boss. And then he places a shield on himself, which always helps, no matter what you're doing. Extra shield never hurts. And then of course this is where he's going to hit the clan boss even harder, because hopefully the clan boss is going to have max debuffs, which is 10, and then he's going to get an extra 10% for each debuff. So he's at 10. That'd be 100% damage. Already, it's already going to hit hard, and then because it's based on defense, and then 100% on top of that. So, I mean a solid hit on the clan boss. So yeah, I mean he's just an all around solid champ. He's going to be great in faction wars. He's going to be great in clan boss. He's going to be okay in arena. I think he would be better if he had a higher speed. You'd see him more in arena. Of course, if he's going to be your first legendary, if you pull him in this and you're still young in the game, then he's going to help you anywhere you put him. So he's going to be a solid champ no matter where you put him. But clan boss is where he's going to shine. Dungeons, he's going to shine. Arena, he's going to be okay. And campaign, I don't know if he'd be good at all in campaign, to be perfectly honest. But alright, so that's the legendaries. There's 4 legendaries, 3 non-void and 1 void. So let's get into the epics. There are 4 epics, 2 non-void and 2 void. So our 2 non-void, the first one is back at the Knights Revenant, and that's Sepulcher Sentinel. So again, for epic, really good stats. She is a clan boss beast. She Looks like she has a cocoon for hair. But hey, whatever. We're not going to judge Knight's Revenants. All right. Let's see. Let's get into her kit here. Attacks one enemy. Has a 40% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. And based on defense. So, a really good A1, because we want decreased attack on the clan boss. It's a 40% chance, but it books up to a 60% chance. And then her A2 places a 60% increased defense buff and a block debuffs buff on all allies for 2 turns. So increased defense is always great when you're going up against anybody. And then, of course, the block debuffs is going to help protect our team versus the stun if we can time it right. And that books down to a 4-turn cooldown. And then her A3 is a passive that is probably one of the stronger passives in the game. Now, it has a 25% chance of completely blocking incoming damage when an ally is attacked. Occurs once per turn. So, I mean, I don't know what to say to that. It's just, and it books up to a 50% chance. So a 50-50 chance to completely block incoming damage. So there's a good chance that, well, a 50-50 chance, 50% chance that someone's just not going to take damage when the clan boss attacks. I mean, just great ability. All right, and then we got increase ally defense in all battles by 25%. So you can use her. You can use her as your lead in clan boss. If you can get her early, she will take you all the way to end game for clan boss. All right. So where's she going to be good? She's going to be solid in clan boss. Obviously, we've been talking about that the whole time. Her kit is designed, I think, specifically for clan boss. She's going to be good in dungeons. She's going to be good in. She's going to be all right in arena. I think she can help, but I don't know if she's going to be someone you're going to have in your arena team the whole time. If you're new into the game, she's going to help you no matter where she's at. I don't believe she's going to help you in campaign at all. She is a tank, so she's not going to be very good in campaign at all. But she will help you in any dungeon. She'll help you for a time in arena. She will help you until end game, and then some for clan boss. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, she's for an epic. She's fantastic. All right, so our next non-void is going to be over here in the dwarves, and it's going to be Grizzle Jarl. So again, solid tank stats, okay speed, and everything else is okay. He is going to, his kit is attacks one enemy, has a 35% chance of placing a 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns, and it's based on defense. And then his second ability is places a block debuffs buff on all allies for 1 turn, places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. And then his A3 is attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Decreases each target's max HP by 30% of the damage inflicted, and damage is based on defense. All right, so let's break that down. So for clan boss, if you can find someone else to do this job, the decreased attack, then you don't want to put accuracy at all on him. And the reason why we say that is because you don't want heal reduction to hit the clan boss. So heal reduction will take up one of your 10 slots, so you don't want that to happen. So if he doesn't have accuracy, then that won't happen. And he'll still hit pretty hard. But this is where he shines for Clan Boss, is because block debuffs is going to keep anyone from getting stunned. And then, of course, the increased defense is always great for Clan Boss to help protect against the Clan Boss. The damage, the AoE damage. And it also books down to 3 turns. So, I mean, you can almost keep that up constantly. So that's what makes him so badass. Because 3-turn cooldown on block debuffs and increased defense, you're almost guaranteed to time it right with that stun. And then with this ability, the decreased attack we do like for Clan Boss, but this second ability, which also needs accuracy, won't work at all on the Clan Boss. So if you're using him for Clan Boss, try to get someone else to do the decreased attack, and just that way you don't have to worry about accuracy at all. So, I mean, solid for Clan Boss. Absolutely solid for Clan Boss. Where else would he be used in? Well, he can be used in Arena. I've used him in Arena, especially for a newer player. See, like this is my baby account, my free-to-play account, and in Arena he's fantastic. Let me tell you why he's great in Arena. Because of this ability right here. Because every single new player is taught by the game that they need to have lifesteal gear on whichever starting hero they chose. So whether it be Kale, Eliana, or Helhane, it doesn't matter which Gaelic, all 4 of them. No matter which one they chose, there's a 90% chance that they've got lifesteal gear on it. And if you smack them with that, their team is toast. Because if they can't heal their damage from their lifesteal gear, they're probably going to die, because most people don't think about speed when they're starting. They don't think about defense. So you run, and they definitely don't think about resist. So you run over, you smack them with the A1, and then let the rest of your team do the work. It's just, I mean, it's fantastic, especially for a new team. All right, so that's it for the 2 non-void epics. All right, so for the 2 void, we've got Demon Spawn. We've got Umbral Enchantress. Now she's been in a couple of these times 10 before. She's also been in a fusion. So if you don't have her by now, I don't know why you wouldn't. But yeah, so let's get into her, because one, she's just a fantastic champ. One, she looks badass. I really like the aesthetics of the demon spawn faction. She just looks cool. I love her colors. They did really well with her colors. But she's got fantastic stats. Speed a little on the low side, but let's see. Her kit is A1, attacks one enemy, damage increases as current HP decreases, based on defense. Damage is based on defense. Alright, her A2 is attacks all enemies, has an 80% chance of placing a block buffs debuff for 3 turns, and damage is based on defense. And then her A3 is attacks all enemies, has an 80% chance of placing a provoked debuff for 2 turns, places an unkillable buff on this champion for 2 turns, places a block cooldown skill debuff on this champion for 5 turns. The block cooldown skills debuff cannot be resisted or blocked and cannot be removed. And then it's based on defense again. Alright, so she is probably the only one out of all of these guys that isn't really a clan boss champion. Now, can she be used in clan boss? Absolutely. She'd probably not be as good as other champs, but if you're a newer player and she's one of the only few epics that you pulled, then she's going to do damage. So she's going to be a damage dealer for that. But unfortunately, her skills and abilities aren't going to really help, because this is going to help because the more damage she takes from the clan boss, she'll be able to hit harder. But this one is not going to help at all. But also, she's a neutral affinity, so she's going to hit hard no matter what affinity the clan boss changes to. Alright, so that's where she's going to help with that. But this ability is, other than hitting the clan boss, is kind of only detrimental to her, but she does get unkillable for 2 turns. So, but the block cooldown skills, kind of crappy. But the 2-turn unkillable is really good with the clan boss. Alright, so where else is she going to be good in? She's going to be great in Faction Wars. She's going to be great in Dungeons. She's going to be great in Arena. The only thing she's not going to be great in is Campaign. But she does have 2 AoEs. So if you can get her crit rate and crit damage up, she could actually probably be pretty good in Campaign as well. But all around, she's just a great champ. Absolutely great champ. So, alright, let's get to our final champ. And that's going to be Lightsworn. Now, this guy was one of my first epics that I ever pulled in my primary account. So he's got good solid stats. I mean, just really good base stats. And then his A1 is attacks one enemy 3 times, decreases the target's turn meter by 10%, and it's based on defense. So this kind of sucks because it's only decreases the target's turn meter by 10%. So no matter how many times it hits, it still only does it by 10%. It's not 10% per hit. If it was 10% per hit, still probably not that great, but yeah, whatever. So this is not even a factor to even consider to worry about. This one, his A2 is attacks one enemy, places a 50% decreased attack debuff, and a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. And it breaks down to a 3-turn cooldown. So, books down to a 3-turn cooldown. So really solid for clan boss or anywhere else. And the multiplier for this ability, for this attack, it hits hard. I mean hard. Alright. And then his A3, this is where the money shot is. And you have to ascend him to get this ability. It places a 60% increased defense buff and a revive on death buff on all allies for 2 turns. Now, it only books down to a 4-turn cooldown, so it's kind of hard to get this to the revive to work. So you're really only worrying about or using it for the increased defense, because it's hard to predict when you're going to die from 4 to 5 turns when it's only on a 2-turn cooldown. So the only time you're ever going to use this to revive is when you know you're going to die next turn, so you're going to slap it on him. So you don't care that. Yeah. So anyway, this guy's been used for several unkillable teams for clan boss. So he's solid for clan boss because he places the revive on death, which helps with the unkillable teams. And when the clan boss does his big slam, he does the decreased attack, which always helps in clan boss. He's just solid champ. The turn meter stuff doesn't help with the clan boss, so that's not a big deal. But just a absolutely solid champ. So all right, guys, please in the comments once you pull your shards, if you decide to pull your shards. And to be honest, some of these champs I don't have, and I would never, ever advocate to pull shards during the ×10 event. But should you pull shards and you actually pull something, let me know in the comments what you pulled, because I like hearing what everybody else gets. I think it's fantastic, and I hope all of you pull something great. But other than that, this has been Shalazar. I appreciate each and every one of you. We'll see you next time. Bye.